All right, Shalom. We're at it again. We're the Hebrew Israelites. We come in week and week out to prophesy the downfall of this place, Babylon the Great, soon to be destroyed by nuclear fire and by super lasers, right, from the chariots of Israel, which are taking their starring role, okay, in this saga, if you will. All right? We come out to warn the people, warn them of me, warn them from me, from Yahweh Shai, all right? To wake up the 12 tribes of Israel, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Speckled Bird, all right, to get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, to pray for forgiveness, and come back to the ordinances, right? The ordinances in this Bible, what you call the 10 Commandments, which there's 613, and all manner of righteousness and how to conduct yourself and navigate how to move on the planet Earth. And the more that we do that, the more we take our rightful place as the rulers of the planet. All right. So with that, first and foremost, face the east. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Akatadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us His truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Salakia, it is Shabbat, so I should have said that on the way in. Salakia. All right, so without further ado, yesterday was a good day. And with every day that passes, these demons are going to become more and more confused, right? Because you have to know what is going on in the world. People are going to bug the hell out. If you don't know that everything is going to be upside down and the rotation has already started, if you don't know what's going on, hell, you're not going to be comfortable at all. If you do know what is going on, you know that you're not going to be comfortable, but you'll be okay with it. All right? Knowing is half the battle. All right? Knowing who your enemy is half the battle. Knowing that somebody hates you, right? You know how to beware of that person. And there's a time, all right? We're in a particular time. There's a spirit. Okay, let's start right here. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. It's a particular time that we're in. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1, a time for everything. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. All right? A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. Now we'll jump down to 8. A time to love and a time to hate. You got to know who your enemy is, because your enemy naturally hates you. That's the way the Most High created it. And to have that information is half the battle. Okay? Because there's going to come a time where your enemy, he can't even conceal his hate for you anymore. All right? He's going to be on autopilot. The way that he was created is going to come out no matter what. And he's going to show you his horns, and he's going to try to come after you and put you to death, especially if that's what he was created to do. If you were created to be a murderer and a killer, a bloodthirsty savage, right? And you were created to hate these people over here, you're only doing what you were created to do. And to have that understanding is half the battle, okay? You do have enemies, all right? I'll read that again. A time of love and a time to, Salaki, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Guess what? The war started a long time ago, okay? Buffalo Bill up there, Wild Buffalo Bill up there in Buffalo. Okay, what did he do? Strapped on his armor, he took his weapon, Johnny got his gun, and he reinforced the fact that he knows what time we're in, right? He's afraid for his people. This is what he said. I'm afraid at the fall of Western civilization, or whatever. The nigga got his gun and he went out, and who did he kill? His enemy. Because he clearly knows he's in his right mind. He knows what season we're in. It's coon season. All right? All right? So with that, let's go to Revelation 19. And let's find out who rides a white horse and what the white horse is. Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. In this case, heaven is referring to the sky. When they say the sky opened, they're talking about a transition, a wormhole, if you will. A wormhole from the fourth dimension into the third. Okay? When something appears out of nowhere, it either came through a wormhole or it uncloaked itself, right? And if you watch Star Trek or space movies and stuff like that, this kind of thing happens all the time, and they're showing you that they're well aware of what goes on between the fourth and the third dimension, all right? And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. Now, what is this white horse? Is it a white horse neighing and braying and eating hay? No, it's talking about horsepower. Okay? Horsepower. There's something called a Ford Mustang. Why do they call a Ford Mustang a Mustang? Because a Mustang is a horse. And a Mustang, right? A wild Mustang, for that matter, is very fast and very strong. And Gad used to like to, let me go get me a Mustang. You understand? So that's what that horse, it represents horsepower. They had something called a Boss Mustang, right? And the boss is the one that got the power. All right, so horsepower. All right, so that's what this white horse represents, because there's nothing more powerful, I won't say on the face of the earth, let's say in the universe. What is more powerful than the chariot of Israel? There's nothing. There's nothing more powerful than Yahweh, and then his son, and then them chariots, the angels. This particular war group, army, right, this is about war. This is about the time that we're in. So when you read this, it's cloaked in war. Then it's going to tell you what one of Yahushai's functions is. All right? And this is very important because we're in the time of war. Esau knows it. They're drawing up battle plans. They're this guy goes on a recon. He goes and surveys it. Everything he was taught, right? Whoever taught him. He went to his spot. He surveyed it. He got all the angles right. He said, I'm going to go down aisle 13. I'm going to spray that. He comes up on an Edomite. The Edomite goes, hey! He goes, oh, sorry. All right, Doom. This nigga been playing Doom all his life. Then he acts it out. Well, that's the Most High. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. That's Yahushua. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. So two of Yahushua's functions. He judges. He's a judge. Righteously. Judge righteous judgment. You understand? And he righteously makes war. His father is the ultimate warrior. So this whole thing, all right, coming down from the very top. The Most High created everything through his son, including war. So how would they not be the masters of war? Fuck Sun Tzu. Who is that? The Art of War. This nigga just wrote a book. Okay? Well, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai wrote a book, and it's full of war. Guess what? In war, you got to have an enemy, right? And it's good to know who your enemy is. It's good to have intelligence on your enemy, right? If you know that the enemy is coming, what do? You set up an ambush for him. Pharaoh, in the ancient day, went to war with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. What a foolish thing. Like little Adolf Schicklgruber said, what a foolish thing to take the children of Israel captive, right? Who would go heads up with the Most High? And there's an answer to that. You know what the answer is? Whoever the Most High made go heads up. Whoever's heart the Most High hardened. How about that? You never want to wake up, snap out of it, and find yourself at war with the Most High. Because you know in that instant you understand, Most High hardened my heart, I'm finna die a grievous death. Because the Most High don't lose. You see? The Most High is the ultimate warrior. He created war through his son, and he made his son second in command. He ain't gonna lose. Okay? He lost when he basically let Esau put him to death, and that's the balance. You gotta have balance. Okay? So if he took a L, it's because he had to, so he could have the W forever, if you will, if you understand balance. All right? So we have a warrior here in righteousness. It is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So in righteousness doth he judge and make war. Judge righteous judgment. It is a righteous thing to recompense, to pay back tribulation to them that trouble you. And I'm paraphrasing. Hope I'm getting it right. All right? So there's a righteous way to make war. All right? Let's examine that. When you go to war and you take prisoners, POWs, let's examine that. Book of Revelation 13, 10. Start at 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Hey, if you have understanding about how things work, okay, there's balance. There's payback. There's war. There's enemies. There's hatred, righteous hatred, indignation. So don't let your enemy dictate what you can and can't. You can't hate. You can. Here it is. This devil got horns on his head, in a red suit and a pointy tail, doing whatever wickedness he wants to do to you, but you can't hate. Here it is on whatever tube, right? This guy is making up rules saying that this is misinformation. This is whatever the fuck he's trying to say right now, which defies any logic whatsoever. You get to make the rules and say that this is harmful or this is whatever the hell you came out with last week to demonize the men of the Lord, to take down our videos and shadow ban or whatever the hell you're doing. You, the one that was created to lie, the one who's more subtle than any beast of the field, you are hilarious, you devil. But the devil must do what the devil was created to do. So all you're doing is exactly what you're supposed to. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. What is captivity? If I capture you, okay? The word captivity comes from the word capture. Well, when do you capture somebody? When you're at war with them. Okay? So to understand war, right, is of utmost importance at this time. Got to know who your enemy is. Of course, your enemy, right, lives in Sweden. And if you've lived in Sweden long enough, you know the capital of Sweden. And the capital of Sweden is Stockholm. And you got that syndrome. And your enemy knows this. He got you in captivity. You got that syndrome because you've been in Sweden far too long. And what has he taught you? Well, you gotta love me. You can't hate me. That's against the rules. I can hate you, but you can't hate me. Okay? You niggas live in Stockholm, Sweden. All right? You're the Swedes. Damn right, you're the original Swedes before Esau came and took that land. Anyway, Stockholm Syndrome is what? It's a condition that a prisoner or a captive develops for a survival mechanism. Then it's real easy to teach you, well, I'm not your enemy. I am your savior. I feed you, I clothe you in want of all. Here you came to me naked, in want of all things. He'll make you believe that he created those conditions for you when it was the Most High exacting his punishment on your ass. And that somehow he's your God and that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is not. That's what your enemy is supposed to do. All right? Why? Because you're at perpetual war. If Amalek will have perpetual war with the Most High, right? Then Amalek is waging perpetual war against you because you are the Most High's army. Who is down here on the planet Earth on a deep cover mission, right? Because once upon a time, you created the heavens and the earth along with Yahweh Shah. Who would that be? See, to have that understanding, if you're out there on the highways and the byways, you're pushing this word, right? And you call yourself the hopeful elect. You may be of the elect. And what does it mean if you are of the elect? It means that you were there in the beginning as part of that Alahayim. And that defies the thought process of a captive. How that has to be the Most High involved in that. How does he wake a captive up out of deep, deep slumber, right? And give you the information that once upon a time you were involved in creating, or for that matter, controlling the elements. See, this is a two-sided lesson today out here on the highways of the byway. And Lord willing, it's edifying, all right? Because you have to wake up and remember, right? You got to educate yourself. You have to recall who you actually are. You can control the elements. Dion. Raising Dion. Wake up, child. Children of Israel. You can control the elements. You participated in the creation of this beautiful Garden of Eden. Okay? Now you got to wake up to the fact that that was you. Now it's time to get your power back. Why? Because this is the final war. You're on a deep cover mission. You're out here. These are the first steps of gaining control of your spiritual power again. You're out here. All right? Most High got you out here through the spirit and power. Here's those words, spiritual power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. All right? Standing boldly before the face of such as have afflicted you and made no account of your labors. That means you're on the battlefield doing what you're supposed to. If you're one of the angels, one of your jobs is just like the guy on the white horse who doth in righteousness judge and make war. That's your job too. All right, who's the example? Yahweh Shai is the example. All right, we took our L, right? Because that was the Most High's plan. Now all of that is behind us. Now, as it is written in the script, it's time for us to win that final battle. Okay? It's time to get your shield, your helmet, your buckler, right? All of your weaponry. We're on the battlefield right now. And this devil knows. See, we're only doing what the Spirit got us doing. But the closer and closer we get to actual combat, right? That's when what we call miracles, what the Bible calls spiritual power, start happening again. We get our power back. We're going to get our power back. Okay? Our Air Force. All right, we're the ground troops. Our Air Force is going to show up, if you will, and show out. What does it mean to show up? They're here. We just can't see them. They're going to uncloak, give us the signs that they're out here with us, providing cover, right? What does your Air Force do? Okay. Oh, well, we need you to, take down. We're moving in this direction. We need you to, okay? Hey, when you understand how war works, especially modern warfare, which today is asymmetric, we're going to be moving, right? And who's moving with you? You're not alone in this thing, all right? So the chariots, with those unstoppable lasers, you got to understand whose side you're on. And you have to move like that. You got to throw off the Stockholm Syndrome. Understand that who's working with you? Who's working with you? So those are your cohorts, all right? Those are your cohorts. This is your air support, your sea support, if you will. All right? The extraction itself, all right? Babylon the Great, also known as America, is a hot LZ. Getting hotter by the day. It's going to get so hot that all that fire, and I mean firepower, megatons, right before, that's when the extraction happens. Right? The birds are going to show up. LZ is going to be burning up. And we're going to get beamed up in a crazy dramatic fashion. And we're looking forward. I mean, hey, going into war? Who said that? I think it was the elder apostle Gabar was going into that. But some of us, went and saw some combat, right? Some of us trained for it. So you have to realize that, hey, you're in a combat zone. There's no way. Everybody on the planet Earth is going to participate in this war. Everybody. Nobody has a choice to, draft dodge. Can't go to Canada. Well, I'm gonna run down to South America. I won't have to participate in the war. Everybody is going to participate in this war. So the question is, who do you want to be in this war? Do you want to be the draft dodger? Do you want to be the example of Muhammad Ali. Oh, well, Muhammad Ali, he did such a good thing. He wasn't going to go fight for somebody who never called him a nigger, or he didn't get. Well, you know what? They made him a coward. All right. They made Ali a coward. He ran. He went voluntarily, put the cufflinks on, sat down, surrendered his crown, surrendered his title, if you will. And then you got Elvis, who went in and you know, they shielded him. It was a PR stunt. You understand? And Elvis was probably a Jake. How we know Elvis? How we know Elvis was a Jake? This is a side note. Because he loved his mama so much, right? He was a mama's boy. Mama, 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 mama. Right? You know Elvis was a Jake. Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. There's a song called "Oh, When the Saints Go Marching In." Who marches? An army marches. Okay? Armies, they be marching. Right? Well, that's what this is talking about. This is talking about war. Let me read that again. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. These are conditions of war. Captivity, and then therefore slavery, is a condition of war. You got the POW. When you get a prisoner of war, what do? You make his ass work. Dig my foxhole. And then get back over there in that cage. You know that Jake was fighting in the Civil War? It was about slavery or non-slavery. You had Jakes fighting so that these niggas had Stockholm Syndrome. That's so good to me. You got niggas today that fly the what they call the battle flag and stand up for it. And them are probably some tears when you have the proper understanding. But what do they say? War is hell. Well, get ready for hell. Because everybody is in this war. He that killeth with a sword must be killed with a sword. Hey, fix bayonets. Fix, that's a command. Fix bayonet. You put that, when you fix your bayonet onto your weapon, if you will, your bayonet is on your side, you take it out of the sheath, you put it on your weapon, you attach it. Then what? Then you got a sword. Butt stroke to the head, thrust, shoot a nigga from 300 feet, whatever. Unless you're from Kentucky, then you can shoot a nigga from 500 feet. But the point is, the sword. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is warfare. Okay? You won the battle. Okay? But now we're coming to the final part of the war. World War I and World War II were battles in the Great War. Even World War III. Okay? Because World War III is Esau fighting against himself. Final war is when them chariots come out of the fourth dimension, and there ain't going to be no more war after that. All right? We're not going to rule for 1,000 years. Then Esau is going to rise up and take us down again. Nope. It's not what it says in the scriptures. All right? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. We are the saints. All right? The men of the Lord. The hopeful elect. We know we're at war. To be out here holding post. Who holds post? Okay. Camp. The camp. These are terms that deal with, all right? These are terms that deal with, being in the service of your nation. Service meaning when they say thank you for your service, what does that mean? Well, you served your country in the military. All right? And we're on this deep cover mission, right? Nobody knows that we're those angels. Lord willing, we be those men. That's extraordinary knowledge right there to understand. All right, back to Revelation 19. It's Salaki if I'm rambling. All right. Revelation 19 and 11, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, that's that chariot. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Now I'm going to jump down to 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in linen white and clean. And we're talking about the armies. It's talking about the holy host. That word host means armies. You got host, and you have hosts. Okay. The Lord of hosts. The holy host. You got host, singular. You have hosts, plural. Okay. The angels are a host. The hopeful elect are a host. We're the ground troops. We dig in, we dig our battle fighting position. You got air support. Everything is about the time that we're in. And Esau knows what time he's in. He understands that he's at war. He understands he's losing ground. Guess what? When a new camp pops up, Esau lost some ground. They used to have it on lock where if a nigger raised up his head, it wasn't going well. He'd be swinging in a tree.
What, you getting water? Water?
This is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. What does that mean? What does it mean to stand in great boldness? What does it mean to stand in great boldness? All right. That means you understand the ramifications of what could happen. You know what it takes to rush down the battlefield. And rush is a military, just like stand. To rush, a bull rush, retreat, rush. These are our commands. They're movements. Stand at ease, parade, rest, attention, fix bayonets. You rush down the battlefield with a weapon in your hand, going to go kill somebody else who's rushing down the battlefield with his weapon to kill you, right? Hey, your mind has to be conditioned to do that. There's something in the infantry that's called kill or be killed. Kill or be killed. There's a time to kill in Ecclesiastes. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor. What does that mean? That means that there's going to be a fight. All right? Because they used to, during what they call American slavery, they used to say, nigga, you look down at the tip of my boot. You don't look me in the eye. And Jake, who had the, what do they call it? Salaki, I can't think of it right now. The spirit, not the spirit of fear, I can't think of it right now, but it's a Bible term. And it means that, that the Most High took your fierceness away from you, right? The cup of trembling, all right? The cup of trembling, I believe it is, right? When the Most High put the cup of trembling on you, right, you lose that warrior spirit. You're defeated. Okay? Well, he's taken away the cup of trembling. This is why you can stand in great boldness. This is why you could go out on the street. Okay? And this is the battle zone where they can still come and grab you up. Right? But we're being protected by our air support. Right? But for a long time, we didn't know that. We didn't understand that they that be with us are more than they that be with them. All right, so it helps to know these things, this extraordinary knowledge, to be able to come out here. Right? The angel of the Lord, what? Encampeth. We're at camp. Well, who's encamping with us? Our air support. All right? Enabling you to stand in great boldness. A few years ago, if you came out here and you call this devil the devil to his face, again, it wouldn't go well. Well, those days are gone. Then shall the righteous man stand. What does it mean to stand? And stand, therefore, with your feet shod, right? That word stand is a command. Stand at ease. Stand at attention. Stand, right? Well, that we're taking a stand. What does it mean to take a stand? Like Custer's last what? Sandwich stand. Right? No, stand. That's what we're doing. It's a military maneuver, if you will. Then shall the righteous man stand. But not only stand how? In great boldness. It takes great boldness to come out here and make a stand for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. After he put that cup on us, right? He didn't let this devil go hog wild, draw and quarter, all sorts of shit. He let that devil loose on us. We were like this, oh shit. Devil could do anything and get away with it. Well, now we see this devil's scared as hell. He knoweth that his time is short. So what is he going to do? He's going to make his last, like Custer, right? Like General Custer, this devil is going to make his last stand. Okay? Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and made no account of his labors. We're going to look this devil in the eye, call him the devil. He can get mad. He said, nigga, I've been waiting for this day. We could eradicate all niggas. And he has no clue that they that be with us are greater than they that be with them. The Most High gave this devil some power. He thinks that he created this power on his own, or that somehow he's the Most High. He done talked himself into a corner. All right? And now we're going to come out. Okay, we're going to tarry ye in Jerusalem until that power comes on our ass. We're out here right now speaking these things into existence. And that's what today is about. What more do we have to say about the chariots? Okay? It's a done deal. Now this devil, he's trying to intervene right now. This nigga done had years and years and years to explain shit away, to control the narrative, to formulate a diversion, a lie, a counterfeit, if you will. All right? His counterfeit of the chariots is his space program, which goes back to Schicklgruber over there in Nazi Germany, where they were making their chariots, and they brought it over here. And they brought those little children, those bug-eyed children over here, and created a narrative, right? And he's still lying and spinning yarns, trying to keep you away from the simple fact that those are the angels, and there's not a damn thing we can do about it. But hey, men of the Lord, we're telling you every day what it is. As this nigga tries and tries, we gotta get him off of there. That's misinformation. That's whatever the fuck he's trying to call it right now. This dude is getting his ass whooped in the spirit, and very soon, right, you're gonna get a spiritually carnal ass whooping when we get them powers. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. You damn right. You damn right. When you see them chariots, you see that power. See, we got power. And our power is about to manifest. I'm looking at, I don't know how many different animals right now. You got the pigeons, you got the squirrels, and I see this little gopher popping his head up. You got urchins, niggas, niggards. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far all beyond, Salah, so far beyond all that they looked for. All right? Hey, you think that you had power for a whole minute, and you was running around proud as can be, like you're unstoppable, and somehow you are the Most High. Nigga, you don't have a 32nd, a 64th of the Most High's power, which by extension is our power. He's our power. He's our God. That's why you hate us so much, right? That's why you hid us away in storehouses, right? Took advantage of the fact that we were being punished. Oh, well, that's talking about me. I'm watching this cooking show, and this Amalekite is sitting there talking about, oh, well, on our holiday. I'm like, your holidays? It's repulsive. Sit there and watch this completely bugged out demon sit there and claim your heritage as though he's some sort of expert, when all you are is a fucking beast, a thief. All right? Is not identity theft one of the worst crimes that you can ever perpetuate? Fucking brute beasts. Revelation 19 and 15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh. So these weapons, this power, surpasses everything. And that's our power. And we're waking up to that. You can't stop the awakening. Right? There's nothing you can do. Revelation 11. Nigga, get out of there. Got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you. Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. And great fear fell upon them which saw them. They're like this, oh shit. The Most High is dealing with them again. They're making a stand. It's talking about us coming out here. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. When we stood upon our feet, the cup of trembling has been removed. We're bold enough to stand on our feet, come out here in your face, okay, and make our bodies a living sacrifice. Taking that weapon and running down the battlefield at the risk of being put to death out here. That's part of war. Okay? And we have reassurances. If we fall on this battlefield with this weapon in our hand, guess what? We still win, and we're first on them chariots. We understand that. And that's a comforting feeling. Really, it's a win-win. There's no losing in this thing. That's a win-win. That's being first in the kingdom, right? Like you get a stipend, or you get a pension or whatever from being in the military, right? You come home after the battle, and you get get whatever, back pay or whatever. The package that we got. Let's read the package. This is the package if you go down on the battlefield. 1 Thessalonians 4:13. But I would have you, Salaki, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep. Means that you died in this thing. That ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will the Most High bring with him. This is that package. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself, for the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. And then it says, wherefore, comfort one another with these words. So that's our hope. Here's the comfort. Hey, if you go down on this battlefield fighting in the Lord's army, if you will, don't worry. It's all good. The package that comes along. And see, the Most High is a man of his word. He doesn't say things that he doesn't mean. All right? So as far as being a soldier goes, when you're going in, you're signing, and they're promising you all of this shit, right? Which this devil, right, for example, they made a bunch of promises to me when I signed, oh, you get this contract, and da-da-da-da, and this devil didn't keep none of it. I got out with an honorable discharge. This devil turns around and said, oh, well, you missed one day of all the days that you were supposed. And he wrote that into the contract some kind of way. He was able to fraudulently cheat me out of what he promised, which is the opposite of Yahushua. which is the opposite of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. He would never do something like that. But this devil, right, you got to know who your adversary is. So you don't expect anything. And when you understand on a spiritual level, see, because it wasn't too long ago, I went to the VA to go get my benefits, your VA benefits. My mom was going through something, so I took her to the VA, and while I was there, I'm like, well, let me get my benefits, since I got an honorable discharge on my DD 214, 250, whatever the fuck it is. Well, bring it in, bring your records. I bring my records in. They say, well, you're not eligible because it says here that you didn't do one day. That's the devil, is it not? Well, who's directing the devil? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Why did the Most High do that? Why did he have this devil do it? Because the Most High don't want me dealing with the VA, going under any devil's knife, taking any of this pharmakia. You don't go to the VA and let them put you to death. You understand? And it took me a minute to figure that out. I'm like, well, that's some bullshit, you know. I remember they tried to take my money for college. They were trying to say that, you know, it was the same problem. Same problem I ran into with the VA, which is the, you know, the medical end that they're supposed to keep, right? I ran into that as soon as I got out, and this was years and years, 40 years ago. They didn't want to give me the little money that I earned to go to college and had to write to the congressman and whoever the fuck. Had to go through all these channels because this devil tried to cheat me out of something that he promised. Try to back his way out of it. Looked back and saw all of the channels, the hoops that I had to go through to make it happen. I'm like, this fucking devil, this shit is still with me. And looking back now, I completely understand what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is doing. And I got a limp out here on some bad knees, you know, or whatever. Right? Happy to do it and not deal with this devil's fraudulent medical. What are they going to do? Well, in order to get your benefits, you have to take a shot. You have to do with them. Like, hell fucking no. I'm cool. And that's just how the adversary, the devil works. All right? Second Kings 2 and 12. And Elisha saw it and cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes, and he rent them in two pieces. So Elisha called the so-called UAPs, UFOs, USOs, way back in the ancient world, they had a name for these craft. And Elisha knew it. He saw it. And he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel. The Most High's Air Force. And guess what? Elisha was a ground troop. Okay? They deployed Elisha. Elisha's one of the elect, is he not? Of course he is. Elijah was one of the elect. He's with ground troop. in the Most High's army. All right? He got called in for an early retirement. They came and picked him up. They sent the bird to come and get him. And he blessed Elisha with a double portion of his spirit. So we're just standing in our lot. It's time for battle. Hell, some of us been on the battlefield 35 years. That's impressive. Can you imagine the medal ceremony for those men? The golden crown, right? We all get the same penny, but hey, that's a incorruptible crown, 35 years. And bringing this thing into fruition, bringing it into focus, that's a mighty man of the Lord. All right? Who wouldn't want to be that? For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Then you got niggas out here scoffing a man like that. Okay? Wanting to correct him. Oh, the elders went off. That's when you know you got to shut the fuck up. Hold your tongue. Second Kings 6:15. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? All right. So Elisha's second was like, what? Shit. How are we going to look at all of these troops out here that are coming to get you? What are we going to do, right? They were in a situation. 2nd Ezra 6:15. So lucky, 16. And he answered and said, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Okay, now, what did Elisha say? What was the first thing he said? You see, all things that were written aforetime are written for what? For our learning. So what are we supposed to be learning right now? The first thing Elisha said. Damn, what the hell are we going to do? Here come this devil. And he answered, Fear not. I'll tell you why in a second. But first, let's just let that marinate. Like, look at all these. Damn. There's an army of niggas that came to get just you and me. Or came to get you, and by extension, me. Right? They ain't making up. He's scared. He's over here. Right? Well, Elisha was like this. Wait, don't trip. See all these niggas out here? Don't trip. I got a double portion of spiritual power from Elijah. So what's going on here is our power. Okay? Our power is a military power. Here it is, we're at war with our enemy. This nigga's about to throw everything he's got and the kitchen sink at us. And what do we got? Well, we got an army that we can't see. So how do you deal with that? Through great faith. And who does your fear belong to? The Most High. Fear not, nigga. Don't fear these. Don't fear this big ass army and all of them rockets and AKs and Dracos, 60s, what do they call it? ARs. Rocket launchers, grenade launcher, right? .204, I forget what they call it. Anyway, don't worry about that. He said, fear not. And he answered, fear not. Why did he say fear not? Because he understood. He understood, hey, guess what, nigga? I can get us out of this. First of all, we talk about the thousands of heaven in the chariots of Israel. He knew that. By that time, see, when he saw, when Elijah left, he was just asking for a double portion of his spirit. What do you mean his spirit? Of his spiritual power. Keep that in mind. Okay? And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So that was the reason why he said, fear not. Then he showed some of that spiritual power. What did he do? And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, I beg thee. Here's how you use your spiritual power. You say, Lord, I pray thee. When you're in that bad situation, you say, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. I pray thee open his eyes that he may see. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Now, when I read that in the spirit, I'm like, well, there's a mothership with a bunch of little fighters. Right? Is that the first time it mentions mountain? See, that's the first time it mentions mountain. The mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Okay? Is that talking about a mothership with fighters, which are smaller ships? Or is it talking about a mountain that there's a bunch of ships around anyway? Either way, they that be with us are more than they that be with them. That's the point. I like to think there's a big-ass mothership or Salakia, fathership. Hey, when you grew up listening to Parliament, Funkadelic, when it came out, hey, when Mothership Connection dropped, I remember them playing that. Just, it was the biggest thing, and they played it, they played it. I remember when Gratitude by Earth, Wind and Fire came out. It was a huge record. Everybody was playing it. That became like the family reunion record, right? I remember when Honey by the Ohio Players. I remember when them records came out, right? And it did something to Jake, right? They responded to it in a way. Everybody had the record and they'd play it, and then that's when they first started putting tape decks. You had the 8-track in the in the car then, and it would just keep playing over and over and over. And when the 8-track would switch to the next track, it would make a little noise, right? It would come up in the song, you'd be bumping the song, and then it would go to the next track, and the song would continue, right? And depending on, which record you had or where it came up in that particular 8-track, that was part of the song to you, right? Move on down, right? And that would be part, you would think about that. And then when you heard it on the cassette or on the record, you'd be waiting for the That was back in the days of 8-track, in the mid-70s, early mid-70s. And then 8-tracks started going out right about 78. Then it turned into cassettes. Cassettes and LPs. That's back when, 8-tracks and 45s, right? You had a 45, a 78, and a 33. 33 and a third, these motherfucking demons. But in the days of the Jackson 5, right, which was 68, Dad used to come home with the newest single. It was a 45, put it on the kitchen table. There was a little record player. We'd play the 45s, we'd sit there. It was a thing. Anyway. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee open his eyes that he may see. Because they were cloaked. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And then Elisha, that was one act of spiritual power. Elisha was speaking to Yahweh Shem Yahushai and getting a response. 2 Kings 6 and 18. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. So Elisha is showing his spiritual power in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right? And on this battlefield, moving forward, all right, we've been showing our spiritual power. Coming out, breaking down these scriptures, standing in great boldness, is all dealing with spiritual power. That's going to grow. When they say, hey, you got to grow in this thing. Well, you have to start conditioning your mind as you say to yourself, here come this goddamn devil with a monkey serum, right? Everything else. You got to start, hey, well, it's time to recall, okay, to bring to mind who you are, all right? The spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. Paraphrasing, all right? If that was you, hey, if you're one of the elect, you were there at the beginning. You got control of the elements. And it's time to use that power. So start manifesting it. How? How did Elisha use his power? Here's two instances. 2 Kings 6 and 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee. That's one. 2 Kings 6 and 18. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. So this is a clue as to how to manifest and begin to use the powers that have been in you, albeit maybe dormant. But Elisha is clearly of the elect. He got a double portion of Elijah's spiritual power. Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. The chariots. All right? Air support. Second Ezra 13 and 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Who's that? The chariots of the Lord are what? Solaki. Let's read that again. 68. 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. 2 Ezra 13 and 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and all things trembled that were seen under him. All right? And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. You got to go back to Revelation 19. What voice? What voice that went out of his mouth? Revelation 19 and 15 again. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power. 2 Ezra 13 and 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. So that voice, right? That voice is more powerful than any weapon. You understand? And we're that voice. Okay? We're not those lasers on the chariots, but we are the voice of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Salaki. Salaki, so it's looking like my battery's about to die. Alright, if it doesn't die, I'll go ahead and close the queue. Revelation 2 and 16. Repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving that he receiveth it. All right? Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bahashim Akal Kodash. All right? We want that white stone. All right, so with that, before this battery dies, coming right up on the end of this lesson, stand, therefore. Let's get that real quick in Ephesians. Stand, therefore. Ephesians 6 and 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. All right, get ready. You're at war. All right? Wake the hell up. You're at war. And comfort each other with these words. All right? It's worth it. It's the package that you get by signing up, by enlisting. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right? And that's it. All right? Hey, we have to endure until the end. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified. All right, we're going to face the east. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Akakadosh. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them. Taught us His truth and Shabbat Shalom. And salutations to all the brothers that push the word, the truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, tabernacle of David. All right, Shabbat Shalom.